This is the third and final video of preparing for your online space for your student. For this series, we're going to be talking about help boxes, sign-in protocols, and posting a schedule for your student throughout their day. Let's get started. Help boxes are amazing. I hope that you guys enjoy this as much as I do when you start to dig into how to use help boxes. I learned about these in a training several years ago, and ever since then I've used them for a million different things. Help boxes are, it's basically like if you have a student that is really needing more direction on exactly what they need to do, whether it's chores in the house or whether it's logging onto their computer or the teacher gave directions on how to get started on a project. I think we often miss directions. We are distracted. We don't understand the directions, whatever the reason might be, or just, I don't know, being forgetful. A help box is going to support your learner in making sure they get every single step done. So we're going to go over what that looks like. Okay, so a help box is a list of whatever it is that you want your learner to remember. So we're going to start with the guidelines here on the left. The first thing and most important thing is we've got to really keep the directions simple. So we don't want to give too much information because then we're going to confuse our audience again. So our directions need to be really quick and short and to the point. You only want 3 to 4 items listed on your help box. If you do any more than that, again, you're going to get lost. You could maybe do it more for, your husband or wife, or maybe a much older kid or a college student. It might work for you as well, but I would keep it really minimal. Your goal is to help initiate a task, maybe what to do from start to finish, how to work through a problem. I'm sure there are more ways, and as I think through maybe some more ways, I'll add to this video, but for now we're going to stick to that. So I designed a simple help box there on the upper right. It might mean that you're going to have something you do every single day in your class, or as a parent, you might learn that every morning when your child does literacy, that this is what they do every single day. So the simple help box will really help support them in what they're supposed to do. So first, read the short story. Second, highlight the words, and then reread the story. I actually put reread the story because I did have a student who experienced autism who would get super mad that he had to reread something. I already read it, I already know what it's about, and then he would refuse. So even if it's something that simple, like rereading the story, you're thinking, duh, they already know. They've done it every single day. They know they're supposed to reread the story, and they won't. I'm here to tell you that that's not the way behavior works. Just because we know how something works every single day doesn't mean that we're going to do it, and I guarantee you don't either. So we need to put that information in there to let them know that that is the rule for that moment. The rule is we read the story, we highlight the words, and then we reread the story, because that's how we learn and remember. So when you're doing a simple help box, it is okay if you feel like it's redundant, or if it's too simple, or if it's like duh. It doesn't matter. A simple help box will make sure that your student who's not doing something that they already know they should be doing, that they understand exactly what they need to do. The more complex, I did maybe for an older student, you're going to go to page 234. I made that up because that's often, sometimes harder to get to, or people might not remember because the teacher gave them the page and they don't remember. And then do your work problems. The second thing would be reviewing the answers with your partner, joining the whole class again and reviewing answers, and then updating answers on your worksheet. So these are all things that, of course, like I said, I made up, but would be really helpful for a student who maybe gets lost. So if you're a teacher and you're watching this, do a little help box up in the corner. I know you already maybe gave the direction. I know it's listed somewhere else, but do a really simple help box for them that will remind them of what you already told them what to do 3 times, 5 times. Doesn't matter. You don't know what people are struggling with. You don't know what kind of noise is going on in the background of their computers. You don't know cognitively if they have memory issues or if they are having processing struggles. You don't know what's going on. So do these help boxes. They're really important. If you're a parent, this is really great for doing chores, and I'll build another help box for chores. This really can work for all kinds of things. The last thing I want to say about the help box is you can do something as simple as a sticky note and write those 3 or 4 things down on a sticky note and use them throughout the day. If you know it's literacy and you know this is what they do every single time, if you know in math class, they do a speed timetable and then they learn a new concept and then they answer a few questions, put that in the help box, and when it's math time, put that sticky note up. This is what you're going to do. This is all your goal is for this particular class today. Okay, so signing into online school. This is really important because you don't want to be getting your students started every single morning as far as getting signed in. I do, however, recommend that as the parent that you help get them started every single time they come back to the computer after a break. But this is not about that. This is about signing on. So you're creating a visual and you want to make sure, again, that you are paying attention to your audience. If your student is not a reader yet, you want to be using icons. I don't have a solution for you guys on how you would get these icons out if you don't have your own printer. Maybe you have made yourself a little online visualization for getting online, and it's you turn on the computer for them every single day and you just pull up that little worksheet if you don't have a printer. But I highly recommend that if you don't have a reader, that you're using little icons, and those are those little if you need to do a snippet of whatever it is, the button that you want them to press, you want to take a picture of that little icon. I know on a PC you can do the little Windows button and then Alt and then S. If you press all of those at the same time, you can actually clip something on the screen and get a picture of that icon. So what I did here is I listed a really simple logging on worksheet here so you would first turn on the computer. You're going to have their username and their password on there for them. You're going to put on their click internet button, so you want them to log onto the internet, find their school icon, click on that, and then oftentimes our login information for our school or for whatever program we're using is going to be different, so I just wanted to represent that here. Sometimes those are different, so we want to make sure they know which passwords go with what. Find your classroom and then, log in and let your teacher know you're there. So whatever that process is, go through that with them on the first day, write all those things down, and then build them a little visualization for how to get online, so you're not having to do that every day for them. And then maybe you've got, if there's a problem, try this or this. You could add those things on as you need to. Building a schedule for your student. This is really important. Let's not think of it as we would this traditional book that you see in this picture. It's not like we're just going to write down, Monday this, Tuesday that. We really need to be thinking about, which classes are going to happen on which days. This is all new territory for your student and for you. So write down which classes are happening on which days. Write down when things are due. Add those things in that you need to have your student take care of. Those things need to be written down, and they need to be posted somewhere in that space where the computer is. They need to see what's up ahead. If you have a student who experiences anxiety, maybe you only want to have a weekly calendar up instead of a monthly, or maybe just a daily. And then you can just add in little pieces and parts of whatever project is due by the end of the week. So you want to minimize some of that anxiety based on what your student can handle. Okay, so how long can your student focus? Well, there's all different types of focus that we experience throughout a day. Some of us can focus for a really long time on a preferred task. Maybe that's sitting on YouTube for some of our kids, or playing a video game. It could be reading a book. It could be, I don't know. I know my daughter loved to knit. It's kind of funny. I know she could sit for a long period of time doing a preferred task like that, something that came easy to her. And I know that our other students are going to be the same way. So you might have a student that's really good at reading and really bad at math, and you know that your student can focus for 30 minutes reading something. And you know that with math, it's more like 5 minutes. So be thinking about, as you are starting to schedule their day, how long your student can focus doing those things that they struggle with, and plan some nice break time and or time for them to ask questions or get support from you or the teacher based on what you think they can do. And pay attention. If you don't know the answer to this, that's okay. You know, when your child starts working on a class that you know they're going to struggle with because they've struggled with it in the past, they're really going to have a harder time in the online setting at first. So sit down with them while they're doing their math class for the very first time, if that's what they're struggling with, and watch them, go through the motions of that class and get an idea about how long their threshold is for being able to focus in a class like that that's harder. So you're going to take that information that you're going to be thinking about how long these classes really do take. If your teacher has scheduled a 45-minute class and you know that your child can only focus for a certain amount of time, check in with your teacher and let them know this is a really hard subject for them. I am going to have them take a break every 10 minutes during this class. Or ask your teacher, how are you breaking up this class so that you can have them take breaks between each of those portions of that class. And then set up the schedule for that day. So if Monday your student has 3 classes, put those classes in. I didn't do 10-minute breaks in here, but I want you to be thinking about that. How long can my child focus on certain subjects, and build your Monday schedule accordingly to what your child needs. So you have maybe your morning meeting first thing, and then after they get done with that class, you're giving them a wiggle break. I'm not saying free time. Free time is not in here. We're talking about specific types of breaks. So we're not going to allow them to just willy-nilly do whatever they want during their free time, because what ends up happening is you can't get them back. They don't want to go back to doing what they were doing. So we need really structured break time, unlike recess, which, can be very unstructured for kids. Also causes them to have struggles getting back to school, but they know their school routine. This routine is new to them. So we want to really build in structure everywhere. Same thing with snack break. If you're going to have them take a snack break, which I highly recommend you do, because anytime we chew or eat, we are helping our brain remember, focus, take a break. So give your student a snack break, have them do some movement activities, something. I will build a poster for that too, so that you guys can be thinking about what kinds of things you can have them do to take a break. Maybe the next class is listening to a story. Maybe that's all they have to do. So when you are coming back from your snack break, you can say, oh, your next class is literacy, and in this class on Mondays, the teacher reads to you guys. So you don't really need to do anything other than sit back and do good listening. So sometimes it really helps to have those things in there, kind of showing what's going to be happening throughout the day and when they can have a break. So how do you choose your type of time indicator? You may want to put 9 o'clock to 9:30, but you might have a kindergartner who doesn't understand what that means. So you might want to say morning meeting for 15 minutes, and then we do writing or something like that. So you might want to put 15 minutes or 10 minutes, or you might use a timer and say you're going to do this until the timer goes off. So deciding what kind of student that you have and what kind of time indicator you're going to use. It shouldn't necessarily say 9 to 9:30. If that's not the type of learner that you have, don't use it. Use something that works for them. So simple do's and don'ts. We've talked about some of these things throughout the video. Definite do's are going to be applying structure to their day, using a schedule and a break schedule. List a couple of things they can do during their free time, and I will list those things out for you. And then use a timer if needed. Don't give free time to do whatever they want to do. Don't allow for video games between classes, or anything that, if you have a child that obsesses about some type of activity throughout their day, or they get, weird about having to stop, don't even allow it during the day. Wait till school is over. Don't use break time for punishment. So if they didn't do what they were supposed to be doing, don't use their break time as a time to say, well, now you're gonna, sit in the chair and do nothing because you didn't do your work. We don't use break time for punishment. And then not allowing movement. So again, we don't want them to sit and do nothing during their break time. They need to be up and moving. If you want to use movement as a punishment, that would be a better choice. We don't want to have them sitting still when that's already what we're asking them to do. Hi guys, this is the third and final video of how to prepare the space for online learning. There's going to be some videos that I'm going to put out here coming up around helping teachers get their classrooms prepared and get ready for the beginning of the year as well. So be watching for more videos to come out, whether you are a parent, a teacher, or another professional. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and share. Appreciate your time. Take care.